VENU GEET. So yesterday we were hearing about it, about Pulind Kanyas. The kumkum that was there on the Krishna's feet and it get attached to the grass. The Pulind Kanyas, they carried that kumkum, that powder, red powder, and carry on their face and their body so that they can have the Krishna closer to them. So it is not direct. They're not getting the touch of Krishna directly, but yes, it is in an indirect form. So it is there and as well as it is not there. So these Pulin Kanyas, so the contact and the relation that they have with Krishna, it is through the medium of gopis. So that means the service that they are rendering is under the observation and surveillance of gopis. It is under the instruction of gopis only. But the service or the touch that they are getting under the gopis, so they are rendering the greatest service through the medium of gopis. Like the Devis of Swarga, those who were offering their prayers to Radharani, so they were allowed to enter into Rasa. So the Shrutyas, they also get the opportunity to serve through the medium of Radharani. But Lakshmi ji, she didn't accepted the instructions of Radharani, so she was not allowed to enter into the Ras. So those who were under the guidance of gopis, so they were enjoying this nectar. This is the main thing. So till the time we were hearing about the Pulind Kanyas, that they were making the garlands and they were offering to Krishna, and the gopis served the, Krishna with that garland. So we already heard about this. So this means, so they praised gopis and they were following the instructions as per the gopis only. So in the verse we can see the gopis are saying, "Oh dear Sakhi, this red powder is definitely the powder on the chest, on the breast of the gopis. This is not an ordinary red powder. So this is from the body of some beloved of Krishna, who is very dear to Krishna, and they were carrying on this their chest. So somehow that powder got installed and imposed on Krishna's feet. So one of the name of Krishna is Upgaya, whose glories are chanted or sang loudly. That is Urgaya. So somehow that red powder get attached to the feet of Krishna. So while Krishna was going back to home, so while going back from Radha Kund, So the gopis are saying that this red powder, kumkuma, was actually, it belonged to Radha Rani's. It was there on the chest of Radha Rani. And this get imposed under the feet of Krishna while going back to home. So during Nishant Leela, morning 3:30 to 6:30. So this is the greatest Leela, the pastime. So many of our great gurus and acharyas, they left their material bodies at this time only, Nishant Leela, during the Mangal Aarti, morning prayers times. So morning prayers are also referred during these. Mangal Shri Guru Mangal Murati Mangal Shri Radha Krishna Yugala Pariti Mangal Nishant Leela. So this is the Nishant Leela, the morning hours. So during this Nishant Leela, Kishore and Kishori, Radharani and Krishna, they were in the Nidhi one during the whole night. So gopis are saying, either after this Nishant Leela, it get imprinted under the feet of Krishna. So that means Radharani took the Krishna's feet and kept it on her chest. And that time, this red powder get imprinted under the feet of Krishna. And while Krishna went back to the home, it get imposed on the grass. And when Pulind Kanyas, they saw this, they just took this powder and imposed on their body. So Madhyan Leela takes place at Radha Kund, where the gopis wait for Krishna. They make beautiful garlands. Some, they just take some fruits from the trees. And at the noon time, around 12:30, so at the bank, on the banks of Yamuna, so Krishna showed, or he tried to befool the friends, the male sakhas, that I am sleeping. And at that time, Krishna came back again to the gopis. So he came on the bank of Radhakund and accepted the garlands at the bank of Radharani. So these are the two examples how this red kumkum powder get imprinted under the feet of Krishna. So Nishant Leela is in the morning, 3:30 to 6:30, and afternoon pastimes, that is 12:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. So this is the union pastime of Radharani and Krishna. So gopis call Krishna as Urgai. So it has a deep meaning that who sang. So the meaning of Urgaya is those who sang very loudly, very softly, like a cuckoo bird. They sang just like a cuckoo bird, who even defeat the soft, sweet voice of a cuckoo bird. So they sang the beautiful melodious tunes. So all the ragas, they sang beautiful rags. So that's why he got the name Urgaya, one who sing very beautifully That is Krishna. So the Krishna not only sing these beautiful melodious tunes, but also play the flute in a very melodious way, so that all the cows, so all the villages, all the cities and the towns, and all the Brajvasis, all the forests, so they all get immersed in the divine bliss on hearing the flute sound of Krishna. The birds, the animals, all the Brajvasis, they get immersed in the bliss of that sound. So on hearing the glories, or on hearing the flute sound, soft, sweet sound of the flute, it cannot be described. So we are reading, hearing, and listening. But actually, we cannot even think of that if Krishna is singing, if just an ordinary stage performer sings so nicely, there's so much gravity in the singing of even an ordinary singer of this material world. And just imagine if Krishna himself sings. So the ragas that come out from the mouth of Krishna, so it will have so much intensity and gravity. It will be so very sweet. We cannot even imagine this. So you can imagine someone from Hollywood or Bollywood or whosoever sings classical, if that sounds so nicely to us, and we cannot compare this with the song of Krishna. If that is so very impactful, so it is just like a blade of grass. And when Krishna sings, we cannot imagine. Imagine when Krishna sings the Bhagavad Gita. So there's war around. There's elephant trumpets. There's so much of smoke, so much of dust there. And at that place, if Krishna is singing Bhagavad Gita to Krishna, so we cannot imagine that. But that is just like an set of instructions given to Arjuna. And here, it is actually the beautiful melodious tune song. So who won't be there, who will get trapped by these beautiful sounds and carried away by this melodious flute sound? The mountains, the hills, the rivers, the trees. So everyone is just enchanted by the sound of Krishna's flute. So we cannot describe the condition on the feelings of all these. And just imagine if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing Sankirtana, Hari Har, Hari Haram, Keshwaya Namaha, Gopal Govindaram, Shri Madhusudan. And if Mahaprabhu sings so very nicely, so Mahaprabhu sings in a very sweet sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaye Gaura Madhur Sware. So if Mahaprabhu is singing, During the Sankirtana, Nityanand Prabhu cannot stay aloof. So Nityanand Prabhu, on hearing this sound, sometimes he jumps in ecstasy and sometimes he falls on the ground. Sometimes he's sleeping, crying, he's weeping. And Gadadhar Pandit, Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu, they all are dancing on the tunes of Mahaprabhu during Sankirtana. So it will be so melodious. So when someone asks, when will we get enter into the ras? So for that, first we have to get into the Sankirtana of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First we get the opportunity to hear the sounds of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan. Then only we'll get the opportunity to hear, enter into the rasa. So Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan is the dance on the Shvedweep, on the White Island. And on parallel to it is Golok Vrindavan Dham, where Krishna, with all the gopis and Radharani, they're dancing. So Krishna is playing the flute and singing. And on the other hand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is singing during the Sankirtana. So on singing, on hearing the sound of Krishna, all the birds and the animals, they get closer to Krishna. And similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does the Sankirtan, so the peacocks and the animals and the deers, they come closer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they lick on the feet. And on the other hand, when Krishna sings, the cows and the calves, they come and they just lick the feet of Krishna. So it was just 500 years before only. So first we'll get into the Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu. And who will get a chance to enter into Sankirtana of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So who will get a chance to enter into Sankirtana of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? All will not get into this. So it is Nitya Rasthali, Shrivas Angan. Nitya Rasthali. So it's a place where Ras took place. Shrivas Angan. So who can enter there? A dry renunciate or a milk drinking Brahmin, they cannot enter into that. Or every achar cannot enter there, but only the connected, the antaranga devotees, very dear devotees, renounced, staunch, they can enter into. Who under the guidance of gopis and who have followed the Raganuga Bhakti, only they can enter into the ras. So that's why, so both heard the beautiful songs. So Krishna is Sarvabhut Manohar. So Sarvabhut means all the creatures. They heard this madhur, the sweet flute sound. So in Bhagavatam, it was described so the Ras Leela's third or the fourth verse, it was described that in the beginning of the Ras, So Krishna initiated Brahmaji. So what was the first word? It was cling. And even during the ras, when he started the flute sound, so who was enchanting the whole creation, so even the first sound of that flute was cling. The mantra that we chant during our Diksha, and we do the japa during the Gopal mantra. So this cling word actually came out from the flute sound of Krishna, where it was heard first time at the beginning of the ras. So Krishna has a beauty which is unmatched. So will not describe the Diksha mantra, but that cling word uh, came out of the flute, and it enchanted all the creations. So on hearing this, so as soon as the gopis heard the flute sound of Krishna, all gopis started running to that direction, because that sound of the flute, it entered through the ears into the heart, and the heart got stolen. So Krishna is a thief, and also the flute is also a thief. So Krishna stole the bodily complexion of Radharani, and also he steals away all the sins, our sinful sins. And as soon as the sound enters into the ears of Gopi's ear, so that sound enter from ears to heart, and the heart got stolen. Sada Hriday Kandreshu Suritave Sachinandana. So in our heart, we have a cave in our heart. It's like a locker where we are hiding the love for Krishna. This is about gopis. This is not about us. So the love that gopis have in their heart for Krishna, and that VENU, that flute, it entered into the heart and stole that money or that wealth. So when you see someone stealing your things, you'll run after. So similarly, the gopis ran after on hearing the sound of flute. So give our heart back, give our love back, our wealth back. So gopis just ran on the direction of the flute. So at that time, what were gopis doing? Somebody was serving their husbands, somebody was milking the cows. So there were different 9 tasks which the gopis were engaged in, and they all rejected this. So they were serving their husbands, some were serving their kids, their children, feeding their children, somebody was milking the cows, somebody was applying the mascara and the kajal on their eyes. So they were decorating themselves. So they left all these tasks, everything they left. So some gopis, they were applying the kajal on their eyes, and they left that in between without completing their beautification and makeup. So, so someone was putting the ornaments into their ears, and they left that in between. So when they were decorating, ornamenting themselves, so they just left the task incomplete. So they were wearing one earring on their ear, somebody was wearing on one hand the bangles, and somebody was wearing the ankle bells into the neck. And they were keeping these ornaments at the wrong place. So they were carried away by the flute sound. So you can just imagine if one is on taking all ornaments at the wrong place, so everyone will observe that person only. So they were keeping and dressing up in the very wrong ways. They were wearing the ankle bells onto as a necklace, their earring as a bangle, the bangle as an earring. So everything was mismatched. So that way only the gopis very impatiently, and they were not able to hold their shyness and their births. Their they were the fears. So 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 the gopis actually, they in this state of forgetfulness, they were keeping their patience and everything aside and ran after the sound. So today is very auspicious day of Ganga Dashera. So today is the day when Ganga appeared on the earth. So we'll be hearing about this Ganga Dashera Katha today. So like if you offer any flower, any flower or anything into the Ganga, so similarly, gopis, they offer their shyness, their patience, and everything onto Krishna's feet. So if you offer everything to Ganga, River Ganga, it goes. So it never comes back. So similarly, the gopis offered everything onto Krishna, and it will never be returned. So all the gopis in the state of unconsciousness, and they were just running after the sound to meet Radhakant, Krishna. So that's why the Krishna captivated the mind and the heart of all the gopis. So this is one of the shlok verse of Ras Leela. So one of the Sakhi says, so why this grass is imprinted with this red kumkum or the red powder on the grass? So it is igniting or stimulating the transcendental lust, the transcendental or the lust or the prem. So in Braj Leela, if you hear any word like calm, it is not to be accepted as a meaning of lust. So we use the word calm there. So when we use the word karma in context with the gopis, when we hear this word calm in relation to the gopis or Radharani, so this word should not be accepted as a common material lust, like material word. There, the word kama refers to the prem or the love. So the gopis are talking among themselves that stim yes, this red powder is stimulating the prema or the uh, affection and the love, where this grass got imprinted with this red kumkum powder. So one of the name of Krishna is Urgai. We have already heard about it. So one of the name of Krishna is Urukram. So if these ears are not hearing the glories of Krishna, so it is just like a hole, like a snake hole. So it's like a snake hole. Snake. So the ear who does that doesn't hear the katha and the glories of Krishna, it is just like a hole. If this tongue is not glorifying Krishna and the sweet pastimes of Krishna, so this tongue, it is just like a croaking of frog. That, so it's like a croaking sound of frog. Right? This So our heart is just like a chariot. So there's a problem there. So the gopis, they have placed Krishna on the chariot of their heart. So the gopis, they placed Krishna on the chariot of their heart. So all the Pulin Kanyas, they are thinking that our life has become successful now, that we have got to have the touch of Radharani as well as Krishna. So if someone can doubt that this kumkum may be out of someone else's body, but it is Sri Kumkumena, that means the most beloved of Krishna, Radharani, this has come out of the chest of Radharani only. So this kumkum has importance because it has come out of the body of Radharani. So the gopis, they are discussing and talking about Radha and Krishna's. And they're describing the condition of these Pulind Kanyas, the gop. So the gopis on one side, they are glorifying Radharani. On the other hand, Krishna's glory. And then glorifying the fortune of Pulind Kanyas. But they are considering themselves to be very misfortunate. That even these Pulan Kanyas, they got the kumkum or the touch of Krishna. But oh, alas, we have not got any touch of Krishna, or even we cannot have the darshan of Krishna. So these Pulan Kanyas stay in the forest and see how great affection and love they have for Krishna. So they are saying that the life of these Pulan Kanyas is successful because on applying this kumkum onto their body, the heat or the fire of this separation gets cooled down because of applying this kumkum of Krishna's feet onto their body. But we don't have that much of love and affection for Krishna, so that we can leave everything aside and we can serve Krishna. So the gopis are talking to themselves that it will be better if we don't become the gopis. So previously they wanted to take the form of a hill, a cloud, a river, or a deer, or even a piece of wood. And now that these gopis wanted to become a Puland Kanya, that it would be so fortunate that if we get the birth of these Pulan Kanyas, so that we get to have a chance of applying this kumkum of Krishna's feet onto our body, and our life will become successful then. So the other gopis interrupted in between that in this forest, that even if we become a blade of grass, then our life would have been successful. So that we get a chance to have the sparsh or the touch of Krishna's feet onto us. So this is the bhav or the desire of gopis. So they are trying to repeat that we are misfortunate that we are not able to get the uh, company of Krishna. This is the scarcity. This is the wealth of all the Gaudiyas. Shri Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jeev Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, the scriptures and the granthas that they compiled. So they are mentioning this scarcity or incompetence. Kabhi Krishna dhana paavo. So when I'll get a chance to have this love and the wealth of Krishna's love, when will that day appear into my life? These bhavs, these feelings, these all are gopi bhav. So the gopis here are also mentioning about the incompetence and the scarcity. So they're not thinking very high of themselves. So they are mentioning and repeatedly mentioning about the scarcity or their incompetence. And where did it begin? It began from Madhavendra Puri Pad. So what is the name of our sampradaya? It's Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. From Brahmaji. Brahmaji is our first guru. So we Gaudiyas, they consider Madhavendra Puri Pad as the first guru because they speak about the Gopi Bhav, the Braj Bhav. So even that Madhavendra Puri Pad is mentioning about the incompetence and scarcity. O King of Mathura, O Mathura Nath, O dear Krishna, where are you? My heart is sinking. My heart is sinking without having darshan. So when will I get a chance to have your darshan? What should I do? What should I do? Kya karu? What should I do? What should I be doing so that I can get a chance to have your darshana? What should I do to have your darshan? So this is Kinkari Bhav. So it's the Manjari. So this is a stream from our Adi Guru, Shri Madhavendra Puri Pad. It is coming downstream. This is our parampara. Even Mahaprabhuji is crying and weeping. Or even I don't have an inch or the fragrance of love and affection. He's not saying that I got the love of Krishna. He's always repeating that where should I go? Where should I go and find my Brajendra Nandan? Where will I find my Krishna, my Brajendra Nandan? So without Krishna, my heart is sinking. So he's mentioning his incompetence and scarcity in his heart. There are so many examples, like Sanatan Goswami, Rup Goswami, Narottam, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So all our Guru Parampara is always and repeating mentioning this incompetence. They're not in scarcity actually, but they are out of humility. They're mentioning their incompetence. Actually, they have the complete union state. There is complete union state, but at that place only you feel the scarcity. So where Radharani is tasting and relishing this love and affection in full sense, but still they are feeling the mood of incompleteness. They're unsatisfied. They're not satisfied. They're not satisfied. They desire to serve more and more and more. So this is the bhav. This is the bhav of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is Braj bhav. This is Radharani's bhav, mood. This is Gopi's mood. This is Kinkari's mood. So they are glorifying the fortune of Kling Kanyas, Pulin Kanyas. So this is not unnatural. It is quite natural. Because they never claim that we have got Krishna in completeness. They always feel some incompleteness. So where the gopis are and where are these Pulin Kanyas? But still the gopis aspire to get the Pulin Kanya's body so that we could have get that kumkum powder. But oh, why we appeared as the gopis? We cannot even get this. This is all bhav that is mentioned in the VENU GEET and it is described. So we're discontinuing the katha today. So tomorrow we are going to hear the further katha. VENU GEET ki jai. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.